Just super excited about the start of practice. This group, we got a little bit of a head start because we were able to take them on a foreign trip this summer. So this group is a little bit of ahead, and they are absolutely a pleasure to coach. They work extremely hard. I have 8 new players, but they fit exactly the way we want to play. And these kids just get after it, so super excited.
Just how beneficial is a trip over to Europe overseas for not only just team chemistry, but also kind of building that foundation that you want to take into the season.
Yeah, so that trip was very beneficial. Having being able to have 8 full practices during the summer, and just being able to get this team together because we have 8 new players. So being able to get them together and see what they can do, we just put in a little bit of our playbook, but just really wanted to see what they can do naturally. So we were able to do that, and then to be able to put them in positions to do what they do best. So I think we were able to get a sneak peek at how they're going to mesh together, how they're going to play together. It's one thing to do individual workouts, but when you can practice, when you can, get them together, when you can be in a place where you have to depend on each other, because we didn't know anybody over there. Although we had some fans to go over there that were amazing. I felt like it was home court advantage in every game we played, so that was really good. But just being able to see them mesh and their chemistry come together and how well they played together. We played some tough ball games, and I felt like my team got better and better. And then we get back, we're able to build on that.
Johnny, it seems like you always make it a big deal to talk to your team about the history of Auburn women's basketball. Why is that so important to tell them about that?
Just first and foremost, I wanted them to know that it's been done here before and it can be done here again. But you always want to honor those players that came before you, that laid the foundation. We have some really good players, some Olympian, both players and coaches that meant a lot to not just Auburn women's basketball, but to the game in general. I knew a lot of them before I knew a lot about Auburn, just because they meant a lot to the game. They give back. So when you have that foundation at your school, you want your players to know about that. And we've been really blessed because our former players have been coming back. They've been pouring into this program, talking to our players. I've been taking our players to see DeWanna Bonner play when she's in Atlanta, and kind of created a bond there. I just think that's really important. I try to have a lot of them to come back for guest coaches. And whenever they come back, I have them to speak to the team. So just for our players to understand that you've had some amazing players to come through this program, and we want to get it back to where it was.
Coach, I know you said you got 8 new players. I know it's a lot, but can you kind of just give us a rundown of who's new and who you might be relying on a lot this year with the new roster?
Yeah, so we have 3 transfers. So that's Taylon Collins from Oklahoma State. We have Jemiah Mingo Young from. She transferred from Alabama, but I recruited her to Mississippi State, so she played her freshman year for us at Mississippi State. And then our third transfer is Kiki Gaines from Clemson. She transferred from Clemson. So we'll be depending on all of them a lot. And then we have two junior college players um, who both were All-Americans, McKenna Eddings and Celia Sunbane. Um, two big guards, one 6 foot, one 6'2", big, long, athletic. Both of them can shoot it. those kids come in and they just play hard. All of those kids, all of those transfers. And then we have 3 freshmen. We knew we had to get big. So we have 3 freshmen in Savannah, Scott, Tamaya, Turman, and Yakaya Melton. And all 3 of those kids are 6'4" and above. They're just big, but they're athletic. They run the floor. They fit our system. So just being able to mesh all of them with the players we have coming back has been really good.
Johnny, how beneficial is it to have Honesty Scott Grayson back for another season?
That was very beneficial, just because Honesty had an opportunity to go into the draft. She had some interest there, but she really wanted to see this program get to the NCAA tournament. And to be honest with you, that's why she came back. She's been here. This is her 4th year here, and she wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to go there. So, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate her belief in us. She believed in our system, and just all of these kids that came back. I really feel like they, they are committed. They are bought in, and that's really important, especially when you have to bring so many new players in. So they were able to show them what it looks like from the jump. But Honesty has been, she's been awesome.
Coach, what do the 8 newcomers allow you to do from a style perspective, just in your style of play?
So first and foremost, they allow us to play the way I really want to play because we have some depth. I really didn't have that type of depth. So whenever I would sub, I would have to change or hold back or go to a zone. Now I can get after it. It's really going to be hard for me to settle on 5. 5 starters, because any given night I have about 7 or 8 that can get out there and do the job that I want to do starting out. So practices have been really competitive. They've been spirited. Like these kids, they get after each other, but they also support each other. So I just think from a style of play, it allows us to do what we really want to do. And we haven't been able to do that since I've been here because of death or injuries or whatever. Before, if I had a couple of players injured, depending on who it was, we had a very slim chance of winning. And I think that's changing.
Coach, you've obviously been around this conference for a little while. Just, what's it been to kind of watch the SEC, women's basketball in the SEC grow? Obviously you think about, LSU obviously coming off of a national championship, the success South Carolina's had, and how do you think, what does Auburn need to focus on to kind of get in the top tier of this conference?
It's about building. It's about retaining. It's about keeping the players, because with the transfer portal, you can have a different roster every year. But you really have to develop. You have to be able to retain those players and to develop them, and so that you can get over the hump. But that's really hard because everything can change in 1 year because of the transfer portal. And the thing about the SEC, it's the best conference. Everybody want to come to the SEC. So you have more and more of the better players out of the conference coming in.
Hey, Coach, I know you mentioned her name, but DeWanna Bonner just having the season that she's having currently, and at her age to have the success in the WNBA, just what can you speak to, just how fun it's probably been to watch her?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. I remember coaching against her when she was here at Auburn, and she's always been fun to watch. But it just speaks to her resilience. I mean, she's resilient. She's relentless. Everything that we talk to our players about. I had a chance to watch them last night, and she's just a difference maker. And it just seemed like she's getting better and better. So it's like people talk about her retiring. She has talked about her retirement, but if I'm her coach, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how not to let her retire this year. But she is, she's planning on coming back to a game this season. And so we're just really excited to be able to watch her and to be able to have our players to watch and understand, you know, what she's been through and how she go through and how she's maintained that level of excellence for all these years.